T-Star Donuts here, and today we're finally doing an Ninjago Seasons tier list. Here with digital cartoons, Tristan today.
Hello?
Oh good, the mic finally worked after 4 attempts. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to be discussing the seasons. We're going to be probably killing each other if we disagree. But yeah, we're just going to be trying to get a comprehensive tier list of the Ninjago seasons and where we think we belong. This will be our own opinions. You can disagree if you want, but I'll come to your house and murder you, obviously. I'm kidding. You are allowed to disagree. But yeah.
But yeah, make sure you support T-Star.
Yeah, and go check out digital cartoons as well. Right, so we're going to be doing it chronologically. We got the pilots first. Pilots are iconic. That's one thing I will say. They are very iconic.
They're quite memorable, so...
Yeah, they were a good introduction to the, series as a whole. My one issue with them, there isn't much content. There's 2 episodes, and, yeah.
Yeah, they should have shown more screen time for Jay and Zane getting their weapons.
Yeah. I mean, they were really good, but, they just didn't really have enough to them. They did what they needed perfectly, but comparing that to other seasons, it isn't, amazing. It doesn't really feel like a season, because it's not.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're really iconic and stuff, but I don't think we can compare them to other seasons that are, whole seasons, because they just didn't have the time, which is not really the pilot's fault. It's just, yeah. So where do you think we're putting them? I'm thinking kind of B tier.
The Rise of the Snakes.
So where were we going to put pilot? B, did we say?
Yeah, B.
Yeah, B. That sounds good. Rise of the Snakes. Oh, this is a good one. This is a banger. This is probably the most iconic season.
2012 was the best year to be a Ninjago fan.
I would actually beg to differ with that, but we'll get onto that later. But Rise of the Snakes, we had the whole True Potential arc, which was amazing. TikTok with Zane's, one of the best episodes of all time, I think. I think most people will agree with that. It was so good. Wu going to get Garmadon, that was great. In the other realm. The Serpentine are just cool villains with all of their abilities. I loved Scales' arc. Yeah, Zane being a robot and stuff. I love Scales overthrowing Slithra and stuff. Lloyd has an amazing arc. Every ninja really got their time to shine in this series. Pi 4.
There was so many things going on at once.
Yeah, everyone got development and stuff. Amazing first season. Pi 4 was an amazing villain. Garmadon being there, he was just a really good villain as well. Yeah, it was just... I'm S. I'm going S. We gotta go S. It's top tier. It's top tier.
If you disagree, then...
it's... Even if you just want to say it's, nostalgia bias, it's so good. Objectively, Pi 4, every character had really good development in this. Right, Rise of the, Final Battle, Legacy of the Green Ninja, whatever you want to call it, Season 2.
Yeah.
Right, I think this is a really good season. Most people would probably put it middle of the row, because of the filler episodes. However,
they were the best filler episodes in Ninjago.
Yeah, right. Episode 1, Season 2, not that good, with them just, running around getting their jobs and stuff. Not that good. Pirates vs. Ninja, it's, one of the most forgettable episodes ever. It was decent. Captain Soto's a good thing. Double Trouble, though. Ninja Ball Run, both really good rewatch value. Not necessarily, massively important, but good rewatch value. Then the one with the Grundle, Child's Play, that's what it's called. It's really good rewatch value. And Lloyd growing up was really cool. That kind of... Even in just one episode, we saw internal conflict, which I love internal conflict. And then the one where they went back in time was really cool.
Yeah, Wrong Place, Wrong Time or something.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they weren't filler episodes, but they were really good filler episodes, so I'm not going to complain. And then we have the final battle arc with the Dark Island and stuff, and those are some of the best episodes in Ninjago. The Rise of the Spinjitzu Master is still my favorite episode, and the final battle is still my favorite scene.
Yep.
And the one where Lloyd fights Garmadon, who's like metamorphosized into the Overlord, and Garmadon's like trying to resist him. That's probably my third favorite scene. So yeah, I'm thinking A. I don't think we can put it S just because it's like the filler
We
episodes.
don't want to be too biased.
Yeah, we don't want too many in S. We could just put every season in S. Well, apart from a few which will.
Yeah, that's debatable.
We have a couple of very strong opinions on a few, don't we? Yeah.
With all due respect to the writers.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting better, but some of the more recent ones, Right, anyway, rebooted season 3. Good season. I think it was good.
Yeah.
If it had had 10 episodes, could have been way better, I reckon. But it was kind of weighed down. I thought, like, the problem with it for me was that there was so many, like, times where it seemed like they won. Like,
Yeah.
I like that maybe episode 7 once in a season, but I don't like it in episode 3, like episode 6 and the final episode. It's like, I don't really like that.
Yeah,
But
it's
overall, like,
repetitive, but Zane's
yeah, Zane's death carries that season, I swear. Zane's death is like one of the best scenes. You can argue it's the best. I personally don't like it because I don't have as much. Yeah, that theme is the best theme in anything ever. Like, for nostalgia factor, that theme is my favorite theme of anything. I love it so much. It's if you watched that and weren't close to tears, you're like, I don't even know who you are. You're not normal. But yeah, it like that scene does kind of carry the season. So I'm thinking maybe B, like high B, I reckon, because it did have some very weak points, but overall really good. Because anything above like B really is amazing, or C, I guess. Like, yeah.
Right.
Tournament.
Is the Tournament of Elements.
Yeah.
This.
Tournament. Yeah. Let's talk about tournament. This is I'm just gonna be straight with it. It's my favorite season. And probably will remain to be my favorite season until the end of time. Because the tournament concept is probably the best concept I think we've ever had in Ninjago, just from my personal opinion. It's so good. Like, the tournament episodes have some of the best rewatch value. I'm on... My next rewatch will be rewatch 13 for me of this season. So, yeah, I think that sums it up. Those episodes have really good rewatch value. They're a good... Like, each character has their own, character trait. Like, Nero is pretty good. Like, I liked that. As much as I hated Nero for it, I was like, what are you doing, you moron? When Klaus, like, gave him that evil look and he said, truthfully, I don't remember. I'm more interested in learning more about that staff. When he was like, the ninja were like, tell him what you saw in the spell book. Yeah, that was good. Shade is an amazing character, as well. As much as you hate him until Skylar's revealed as the person. You hate him up until that point, and then you just accept that he's a great character. Sensei Garmadon's development in this was amazing as well.
You know what we have to appreciate?
What's that?
We have to appreciate Paul and Jay's fight.
The what? Oh, Cole and yeah, one of the best scenes. One of the best scenes. Cole and Jay was yeah, that was so good. And the build up as well. To be honest, I think that's actually my favourite part of that scene. The build up when they're actually in the like starting rooms beating up punching bags of each other.
Yeah.
That was so good. And then they're like,
Jay was like,
oh,
this was my day off.
yeah. Pi 4's return was really good as well. I liked it with his like true Anacondri thing. Yeah, just an overall amazing season. Chen is one of the best villains we've had. Klaus is also really good. Um, Chen's just funny. I like Chen, and also the fact that it's a noodle house. That's just extra points for that. That's just funny. But yeah, tournament, my favorite season. I think we can definitely agree that tournament is S, just for the fact that it's a tournament of elements. It's so good. Um, Possession, the next one.
Yup, Possession.
Ooh, Possession was good.
I
Morrow.
forgot to say this is my favourite season.
Damn, yeah, Morrow. I feel like we need to start by talking about Morrow. Morrow is amazing. He's such a well-developed character.
Oh, he's got good motives, a good origin, and yes, his motives are generally just about jealousy and stuff.
Yeah, nah, and if you actually dive deeper into Possession, I know this is something that people may have noticed at the back of their minds but not really thought about it. There's a lot of confrontation between Kai and Morrow in this season, and this is actually really clever because like it's set up as Kai and Morrow are like rivals when Morrow's in Lloyd's body and stuff. And Kai is somewhat resemblant of Morrow, where he like, especially when we get that scene where he picks up Chen's staff from the season before, like where he's jealous that he wanted to be the Green Ninja. It's just how they go about it. I really like that dynamic.
That kind of motif was kind of like
yeah,
season one.
It was really cool. Yeah, and then we had the realms as well. I thought the Cloud realm was cool. The Realm Crystal is also really good. The Preeminent actually being the cursed realm and stuff, that was awesome. And the Sword of Sanctuary was cool. Yeah, Nia as well. We can't almost forgot about Nia. Because I'm not a massive Nia fan personally, but yeah, Nia had a really good arc in this season. Ronin, I really liked Ronin in this season, to be honest.
Best character development of Ronin.
Yeah, Ronin. I'll talk about Ronin a little bit later, and I am going to rant like very aggressively. But yeah, Possession, really good season. Where are you putting it? I'm thinking high B, low A, personally for me. What are you thinking?
We'll put it. I don't know. I feel like I should go in A. Really.
Yeah, we'll put it A with Final Battle. I think that's good. Yeah, because Possession's like, it's really good. It's a really well done season. The problem with it for me is that I don't find it has a whole massive amount of rewatch value. That's like the only problem for me. Because like, you have to be like die hard watching it to accept it. So it's not really like a casual rewatch, but it's amazing. And I love it for what it is. Skybound. we're going into dodgy territory now, Tristan. Controversy. Oh god. No, I love Skybound. I think. Right. Let's just launch straight into the ending, really, here, because that's the main thing with Skybound.
Definitely. I mean, there isn't really an ending since it's kind of.
You see, this is what really twists my arm on Skybound. Like, I think the ending is really clever, that it makes it all forget about it, but it seems so cliche. Like, that's... I have really mixed feelings on it.
Yeah, it just definitely surprised us. Like.
Yeah, it was definitely a shock. But I think if we're not judging Skybound on the few flaws it has, like the ending being like sort of cliche, and the first couple of episodes being kind of hard to get into.
Yeah, I really like the concept of the ninjas being like eliminated.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. It was like
it's like as if they're like surviving.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars, but I know some of my viewers might have done. It's like Domino Squadron from that, where they fall off one by one. Like a domino effect. It's really good. I love that concept.
I mean,
only one can remain. Yeah. But I think the Sky Pirates are probably my favorite villain faction. Not like the actual Sky Pirates, but just the admins that they had, like the generals. Like Doubloon's cool and he can be funny. Nodicon is an amazing villain. Dogshank, Flintlock, and Clancy all have amazing development, and then there's Monkey Wrench, who's like, he exists. He's probably the worst of the batch, but he's funny, I guess.
But we have to give a shout out to
Bucko and Squiffy. Bucko and Squiffy. I'm looking at you, Kieran and Callum. I know you're watching. Yeah. But yeah, it's Nodicon, really good villain. His motives were he just wanted power. He just really wanted infinite power, which is just usually I don't like basic motives like that, but with Nodicon they made it work, so yeah. Also the Lighthouse episode, another amazing episode. I just loved that whole thing. It was really cool. Really well animated for the time as well. Yeah. Skybound A. I think A. Yeah. I think A is good for that. It had some drop offs, but overall, so good. Before we move on, let's not nuke America or anything. Yeah.
Let's talk about Hands of Time.
You want to talk about Hands of Time first? All right.
Actually, no.
We got Day of the Departed next. Alright, yeah. Hands of Time. We'll get onto that next. Yeah, but Day of the Departed. We gotta. I don't really want to give Day of the Departed the cold shoulder first because that's what everyone always does. Day of the Departed is a really cool concept. Seeing all the villains come back. It was really good. But having it be in 40 minutes, so the same amount of time as the pilots or the island, it could have had so much more potential and it just didn't. It just fell off. It felt so rushed. Yang, as well, was they tried. I can see they tried to make him an interesting character, but he just wasn't. And his, turning to Cole to, help the ninja took under 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Under 5 minutes of screen time. Which is why it needed a whole season. So, yeah.
Definitely. Should we put this in DLC? That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's definitely one of those. But one thing I just want to say before we rank it. What did they do to my man Pi for? What did they do to him? Why did they bring him back as evil?
Trust me, he'll come back one day.
He will come back one day. I'm calling it. He will come back. Eventually. But why is he evil? Why did they make him, evil again?
I know, that ruined...
It was so dumb. I would have liked it if he'd come back and, not help the villains, but just, implied that he was still out to get the ninja to set him up in a later season. That would have been cool. That would have been so awesome, setting him up for a later season. But Morrow, we actually didn't talk about Morrow. Morrow was so good in this. Morrow in this was almost as good as he was in Day of the Departed. He was amazing. I loved Morrow in this. So
he's a fan favorite villain, really.
I know he's amazing. Yeah, I actually it's good because I hadn't watched Day of the Departed for a good 2 years, I think. And I actually rewatched it the other day. And I didn't mind it. I can see that objectively it has some flaws. So I think we should put it in C tier even, because I think there are worse seasons that we'll talk about later. So I think C's fair for it. Because it's an awesome concept and it had some really good redeeming bits. But it just fell off a bit. So, Hands of Time. Yeah, I said a lot there. But, I watched a few episodes of this yesterday, I think it was. And there was a, bit, it was episode 3 where they find out that Crux is Dr. Saunders, and then Kai, and then eventually Nia fight him and Acronix in the museum. I thought that scene was awesome. I thought that scene was really cool.
It was filled with a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, but overall this season, it didn't feel rewarding to get to the end of, which a season should. It should feel like you've really gone on a journey with the ninja for a season, and like it doesn't. It just feels like, oh god, thank God it's over. When's the next season coming out? Oh god, I hope it's not as bad as this. Um, but yeah, I thought Acronix and Crux were good villains. They weren't amazing.
Yeah, they weren't intimidating, were they?
No, I think the Acronix versus Wu fight set Acronix up as a really good villain, but it didn't really last.
I'll say that Hands of Time had a good concept, but it wasn't
time is a cool element.
that well.
Yeah, and the animation dropped off as well. Like, another thing, it doesn't really get spoken about as much, but Lloyd trying to be a master in this, it was a really good, like, theme, and I think they could have done so much with that theme, but Season 7 really didn't show it that well, which is fine. It was the first time they really explored it, other than Season 6, they kind of explored it there with Wise Lloyd, but not really.
That was just like...
Yeah. But then they haven't spoken about Master Lloyd, I don't think, since. And unless I'm missing something, I don't think they've addressed that since Season 7. So it's just... Yeah. And the ending I didn't like of this season either.
Yeah, it was kind of predictable.
Yeah, it was mediocre at best. But the Hands of Time, I really want to see him come back, just because I think it's a plot hole, and I think we need to see it wrapped up in some way. But yeah, I think Hands of Time is in a similar situation to Day of the Departed, where it has some really redeeming qualities, but then most of it is just a bit of a letdown. So I think C. And it's a full season, so I think we should give it C.
Right, we're out of the territory.
We're out of the originals. Ooh. Now this is where it gets like really up and down for the whole thing.
A whole different Ninjago, man.
It feels so different, but we got season 8. We got season 8. So
there was a lot of like drama, which
there was.
I don't know why, because the new designs just look super good.
Well, I was really mixed on the original designs at first. I think I resemble most of the community on this. I really I loved Lloyd's design, but for the rest of the ninja, especially with Zane in like human animation weird disguise, I hated that. But it made sense when the season actually came out. But I couldn't really get behind the designs at first. But over the course of time, I've come to prefer them to the old ones. So, yeah. And Lloyd is amazing. This is Lloyd's best season, in my personal opinion. It's really good for Lloyd.
Yeah, the tone of the season just changed to like a way matured season, which I know generally enjoy.
Yeah, it was really good. Harumi is probably my third favourite villain after Pythor and Garmadon.
My favourite.
Yeah, I can see objectively. You could argue Garmadon, to be honest, but other than that, I don't think you can really argue anyone else is objectively the best villain. I just love Pythor, but Harumi was so Harumi was so good. So I think also Lloyd. Yeah, she was so. Her motives were. Oh.
The greatest hour actually killed some people is just really meaningful.
Yeah, no, and that I mean, I actually might do a you know that series concept I made. I might do a video on that, but yeah, it really shows that not all these events have casualties. They're not going to be completely free of death all the time, because that just wouldn't make sense. But Lloyd versus Garmadon as well, that fight was amazing. I have no son is one of the best lines. That was probably my favourite scene in the whole series. Or Harumi versus Lloyd in the by the mask. That was also really good.
The thing is, the storyline was good. The animation just upgraded.
Oh, it was
everything is put in was like a puzzle. Was placed in
Yeah, I mean,
three.
the Sons of Garmadon are also another faction I really love. Kilo is really cool. I love how up and down it was with like who's the quiet one at first before we all figured out that it was Harumi like an episode before it was officially revealed. But yeah, it was so, they scammed us so hard when Zane was like, "You're the quiet one," but then he was like, "Nah, Kilo." Oh, it was yeah, mystery's just awesome.
Joe, if you're watching, Joe, the trap has been set.
The trap has been set. Yeah, no, Mystery when he was that. Did you watch the like Comic-Con trailer thing? The first 10 minutes of the first episode when they
watched, like, the draft
I remember watching that and being like, I was completely just dead faced. I didn't really know what to say. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, especially after Hands of Time. And then Mystery was so good.
Echo saying to be Mystery.
Yeah, technically it's not canon, but like it's deleted. I mean, some people on my stream may it's not a stream, it's a video, but some people may not have known that. So there you go, trivia. That was a deleted scene. But yeah, this also a really good set wave. I know we're not taking that into account, but like really good set wave. Yeah, it's just amazing season. I can't find flaws with it.
No negatives.
So we know where that's going. S, definite S. It's so good. And I love how we thought Garmadon was gone, and then we were like, there's got to be another 2 episodes, hasn't there? But we were kind of unsure, so yeah, that was really good.
The thing is, there's so many questions to be revealed.
Yeah, I remember watching like Tanner Fish. I remember watching Tanner Fishies. He's a Ninjago YouTuber, probably seen him. And David, he's not really around anymore, but he was big at the time. I remember watching their theory videos on it, and it was just, yeah, oh, that was best time.
There was so much hype.
And then they brought the theory of.
We had to wait 10 weeks for like the whole thing.
I know, and we were like we were like theorizing the whole way, and when I think it was Tanner Fishies did his theory about Harumi being the quiet one, and I was like, yep, she is. She just is. And yeah, it all clicked. Yeah, right.
Plus the trailer kind of revealed it.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we only got the trailer 3 episodes in, so it's like, because we got that Comic-Con thing, so that was good. I like getting trailers like midway into the season, rather than right at the start. I mean, I do like to get something at the start as well, but obviously, the more content, the better. But yeah, it's amazing season. Season 9, though. Ooh, what a season to follow. To be honest, we didn't talk about the cliffhanger at the end of season 8.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first time we saw a villain win, and then we were like, yeah, we were wondering how they were gonna like beat Garmadon, and they didn't. They just didn't.
Yeah, because it's so hard to like wrap all that in like one episode.
Yeah, and we were like, I remember being sat there watching it, and I was like, you have 10 minutes left of the episode. This is going to be a trash ending. They're going to have to rush this. And then they carried it over into season 9, and I was like, oh my god.
It was so good. I remember the season ending, and I was like, oh, I have to wait like
I was like,
2 months.
what? Yeah. And then I was instantly looking at any news I could find about season 9. I was like, I want it now. But yeah, season 9, it carried it over into it so well. But I want to talk about the bad stuff about season 9 first, because I feel like it has so much good stuff. I Am Baron, not the best villain. He had no motives. Like, what? Why did he want the dragon armor? Power, I guess. Like, huh? They didn't really say what he actually wanted. He was just like, yep, I want the dragon armor. So I was kind of, yeah. Yeah, Wu was really good in this season, actually.
Oh, yeah. Especially when he remembers all his memories and stuff.
last season in season 8, I love the reveal of that as well. Yeah, we're on season 9 now. We can't dwell on season 8 for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Wu is really good. What else is there that wasn't amazing? Jet Jack annoyed me in like the first 8 episodes, but then towards the end, when she was like doubting Iron Baron, I liked her then. I think she got like much better. But that's literally the only 2 bad things I have. Can you think of anything?
Yeah.
Like,
The
I
season as a whole was just good.
yeah, I can't think of anything else bad about it. Heavy Metal or Faith was amazing. Really good character, such a twist as well. We were like, what? So yeah, she was really good. Wu,
Yeah,
as we
when she
said,
revealed herself,
development.
we were all surprised.
Yeah. The ninja all got like some. So I feel like Kai, Jay, and Zane were kind of neglected this season. Like, Cole at least had somewhat of a father role to Wu, but like that's what I've noticed. I'll talk about it later. But with Kai,
Yeah.
it's like the ninja have kind of been getting sidelined recently, especially Kai.
I like how Hunter just can manage like 2 worlds.
The 2 worlds thing was probably like one of the best things we've ever seen Ninjago do, and one of the most clever as well. Like, yeah, it was really good. And like, the well, I that's another problem. I was just stuck. The scenes in Ninjago you looked forward to so much more than the scenes in the first realm, which was a slight problem. But yeah, you just wanted to see those so much more. But you're like, that doesn't mean you didn't want to watch the scenes in the first realm though. So like the scenes in Ninjago, which is that good.
Until like the whole
Yeah.
Oni trilogy.
Yeah. And then the Elemental Masters coming back was awesome as well. I love that. And then Radio Free Ninjago, amazing episode where they were in the like tower thing and they got the airways and stuff. Ultraviolet, I hate Ultraviolet. I didn't talk about that for season 8, but Ultraviolet's just kind of dead.
Yeah, she's super
But yeah,
crazy.
Garmadon in this season was amazing. Mr. E, when Garmadon killed Mr. E, I was like, huh? They're gonna rebuild him, right? I was really surprised. But
that was the first like on-screen girl as well.
Yeah, it was really like, whoa, Garmadon is not messing around. Harumi was amazing in this season as well. Yeah, just
when she died,
that was a really good scene because it was like, yeah, maybe I screwed up here because I've caused a ton of deaths in the exact same way that my parents died. Wow, maybe I should not have been such a moron. But then, yeah, she just dies. I hope we get to see her again, though.
It was a good redemption arc.
I mean, I don't feel like she really got redeemed as such. I just feel like it showed like regret. So it's like it gave way to possibility for a redemption arc, and I really hope if they go to the Departed Realm sometime, which I think would be a really good story concept, we get to see Harumi again because that would be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hunted S. I think Hunted's S. Also one of the best final episodes as well. So
yeah, Green Destiny.
Yeah, Green Destiny, what an episode. Oh no, March of the Oni. This is a tricky one. This is really tricky.
Just when we thought things were like going good.
Yeah, I mean, I love the cliffhanger with like they're coming on the end of season 9, and that was the only problem with March of. Yeah, I mean, I think the main problem March of the Oni suffers with that stops it from being what could have been potentially the best season is the fact that it only had 4 episodes rather than being like 10. So it was kind of, it felt rushed in areas. Cole's death it's something I'm really mixed on because I really liked how the characters reacted to it and the turmoil and stuff. That was so well done. But the actual thing, he wouldn't have survived that fall. He wouldn't have lived. So I mixed on it because I don't know whether it should have been sidelined for maybe more development for Omega or something, because Omega wasn't that good of a character.
He was just a bit.
Yeah, he wasn't really. I mean, it makes sense because he's an Oni, he's just destruction embodied, but I wish they would have given him something to his character.
I remember being super surprised when Gormadon full on turned into an Oni.
Oh yeah, that scene I actually like. You see, I like it because they're exploring Garmadon's power more, and I always love getting more exploration into what powers can do. But it was really weird. His face was really weird when he did that.
Still cool though.
Yeah, it was pretty. I love powers being explored. But my favorite thing definitely about this season was the fan service. We got the golden armor. There was a ton of Easter eggs in the room thing. I was actually watching it with Joe the other day, where they're in the place with the Realm Crystal. There was a ton of Easter eggs. And yeah, also the intro is my favorite intro. I know it doesn't have the Weekend Whip, but I love the visuals so much that it's
It's quite
yeah. So yeah, I just love the fan stuff, and also I really hope, and I think it's very likely that we will get more exploration on what that first Spinjitzu Master and Lloyd scene actually was. I don't know if Lloyd will actually go with the first Spinjitzu Master, but I think we'll get more exploration on it at least.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool concept.
Yeah, and I really like that. But yeah, season 10, I'm thinking B. I think with rebooted and pilots, it just needed more episodes, really.
Yeah.
And this is where we get into the real controversy. Season 11. Everyone hates it for good reason. It was bad. Really well animated. But yeah. It was the Ice Emperor was trash. We predict as soon as we got the set images, everyone was like, "Yep, Zane's the Ice Emperor, no question."
Yeah.
The season had potential. It had such cool villain designs. The animation was so good. The suits, everything aesthetically was good, but story wise, it just wasn't there. There was so much filler in the fire chapter. Yeah, there's some episodes that you can somewhat rewatch, but for the most part, it's just yeah. I really like the Ninja versus Wu fight though. That was one bit that I thought was
I love that.
yeah, that was standout. And the bit where Zane Lloyd turns back Zane by saying, "You are built to protect those who cannot protect themselves." I love callbacks, so yeah. But overall,
it's why this show actually just feels good.
Yeah, but overall as a season, not much rewatch value. It's just, I think compared to some other seasons though that we've still got to come, I think high D, so it's still bottom tier, but at the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there were some really good parts of it that I liked.
Yeah, this Wild Brain probably has one of the best combat scenes where they fight.
Yeah. Prime Empire. This is an interesting one actually. I just watched an episode of it literally just now. I watched the one where Lloyd fights Harumi, which is one of the best scenes in Ninjago. I think. I thought that was amazing. Unagami was a decent villain. You can see they really tried, but it just
Yeah, I didn't like Milton Dyer. He was just a bit repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get attached to the villains or anything. You didn't really, with villains, you either want you to be, oh yeah, I sympathize with them, and I really want them to like have a redemption arc and like or get a fair treatment, or you hate them so much and they're just so dumb that you want them to just get yeeted out of existence. But Unagami I just didn't really care about, and that's a problem that lots of Wild Brain villains have. I just don't much care. Um, yeah, but the animation in this season was phenomenal. I think the video game concept was great. Okino was an amazing character. I really like Okino. Yeah, just really good season.
Which tier should we put this? Because I'm thinking C or B, really.
I think B, but like bottom of B. It's not as good as much of the Only Pilots or Rebooted, but it's good. Next up, this is gonna hurt. This,
Yeah, because I feel like this season is quite overrated.
Yeah, I was last night actually. I was watching a rating of Ninjago seasons, and the person put this fifth. I've also seen it put like third and stuff. I know everyone really likes it because it's a coal season, and people really wanted a coal season, and people wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care that it's a coal season.
Well, with all due respect of coal.
Cole needed a season, yeah. Like I appreciate that it was a coal season, and I wanted it to be a coal season, but that doesn't make up for the season, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it was just like there's something missing from this season. The tension's missing, really.
Although the final battle was actually alright.
Yeah, I really liked how like I really liked the probably my favourite part of the season of actually, other than one other thing I'll talk about in a minute, was the it was what I've completely zoned out there. With the swords, when the Skull Sorcerers like they hold no power and stuff, and you're expecting them to hold some special power and him just be lying to manipulate. Cool, they actually don't, which I really thought was a really smart route to take. But yeah, this season just lacks some of like the tension like that something like season 4 had, where you really thought the ninjas were completely screwed, and this one like they're gonna win.
It really lacks.
Yeah, it just lacked that flair that older seasons had. Yeah, it's just yeah. I really like the Venturestone Buyer introduction though, because I have really high hopes for that where that can go, especially with how things are going at the moment. We'll talk about Seabound in a minute. I have really high hopes for how they're gonna finish up this Venturestone Buyer arc. But yeah, Vanya, that was what I was going to talk about. Vanya's a really cool character. I really like Vanya because, yeah, she's just cool. And I like how she didn't go along with her, like, evil father person. It felt a bit like Skylar and Chen, but it was, like, different enough to make me like it. So, yeah, Vanya was good, but...
I quite like how Lloyd was suspicious of her.
Oh, that was such good attention to detail. I've forgotten about that, but yeah, that was amazing. And I actually saw a theory on it about how Lloyd probably wouldn't trust her. So that was amazing. But yeah, I think D tier. I know we've just talked about a bunch of good elements of it, but as a season as a whole, probably got the least rewatch value for me. For like a whole full episode season, and yeah, I think it's not good. So D, would you agree with that? Disappears off the face of the earth. He agrees with it. It'll be back in a minute. Hey, what happened? I think his internet cut out. Anyway, we got the island next. I'll just rant about the island for a second. The island had a lot of potential. Everything about it was really good, and then it just kind of like, the animation was amazing. Oh, okay, you're back. I think your internet died. Yeah, you cut out a bit there. I think your internet died, but yeah, the island, really good. Yeah, it was just. I mean, for 4 episodes, like, I get it. I actually think it's better that they did the island in 4 episodes rather than have it be a full story. I preferred that. However, the island, with all its perfect writing and stuff, let down by one key element, Ronin. Ugh. Ronin! Ronin. I liked Ronin in season 5. I liked him in season 6. Slightly less, but still liked him. And then we get to when he comes back in season 14. I know he had minor appearances jotted around the place, but. Yeah, like, I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for the island and seeing the dragon, and I was like, that's not Wahira or Wajira. I know it's technically Wajira, but I like when it was in another language, I thought it was Wahira, and it stuck. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's not Wajira. That looks fake. That looks like the Destiny's Bounty. That looks like a wooden dragon.
Yeah, it generally did.
And we were right. Which I would have been fine with. I think it would have been really cool, and I was like, yeah, it's really cool that they're sacrificing like a bunch of people to some weird wooden dragon so they can make money and stuff. And then it was Ronin, and then it just. I made that sound when I saw Ronin. I just farted, like, oh.
I was gonna be a mechanic. I was about to be like, oh, come on.
I wouldn't have really minded who it was. I probably would have preferred it to be like a new villain, or just like, I don't really know what I wanted a wooden dragon to be much. I thought it was a cool concept. I don't know who I would have wanted to be behind it, but I really didn't like Ronin being behind it. I absolutely despised it. And, yeah, Ronin turned the island from being a perfectly decent 4-episode setup for Seabound to my least favourite season of all time. So yeah, we'll dump it down there in D. Like,
Yeah, D.
It could have been really good. As I was saying at the start, like, it could have been good, but Ronin came along, and
yeah, the island has one of the best ninja suits.
Oh, the island suits. Whew, they are good. They are very good.
It's just so detailed. Like,
yeah.
It's further better than Hunted, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. But after that absolute mess, Seabound. This is going to be a fun one to talk about. We've talked about Seabound loads, considering it's new. Yeah, go on.
Ever since season 11, Ninjago hasn't been the same. And until Seabound, that actually, that changed my opinion on Ninjago.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like Prime Empire when it came out, but I've grown to really like it. But other than that, I think overall the quality has been low. But then we get to Seabound, and it was amazing. That's like the blunt opinion of it. It was amazing. Like,
super good. Rewatch value. Well,
yeah, I've rewatched a few episodes of Seabound already.
I've definitely watched Throne of the Tide like 10
yeah,
times.
Oh, that's yeah. We'll talk about the final in a minute. Kalmar, really good villain. He was like didn't like the ninja because they were like land people, and he wanted to basically just wanted more land for his kingdom, which he actually thought would be like the best thing for his people, which is a really good like thing to explore. It's kind of like a Thanos-esque style where they're like doing what they think is best for the people, even if it's like not ethically right. Benthamar, we love Benthamar. Benthamar's great. Benthamar is good. The king is really cool as well. I like the king. He didn't get too much screen time, but he was good.
The second on-screen death.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was good. What else? Nia was really good in this season. It made me like Nia quite a bit more. Yeah, I was never like Nia, but yeah, I didn't like Maya in this season. Maya just annoyed me for some reason. I don't know why. I can't place it. I've just never liked Maya, and it might be unlike founded. No objective reason. I just don't like Maya. I know some people loved her returning, but I thought Ray was really funny in this season. I really liked Ray and that kind of like chill father-son dynamic they had. That was funny. Yeah.
I felt that Kai and Cole were like a bit neglected.
Yeah, they were kind of sidelined. Kai, as a whole, recently has been neglected, but I think he'll be getting a season soon. I think maybe next season will be focused on him. I think he'll get a story in 2022. Because they still haven't explored the Kai and Nia relationship, really. And I think the best time to do that would be next season, because Tommy Andreasen said they would. So I think next season will be Kai themed. But yeah, back onto Seabound. The final episode was amazing. The final few episodes. Nia's death was really, or not death. She's still out there, but like sacrifice. That was really good.
It was
yeah.
quite emotive.
It was the characters were so well emoted, especially Jay and Nia and Wu as well. Actually, you didn't really notice Wu in it, but Wu was like, Nia, I implore you, don't whatever you're going through, like, fight it. Yeah, that was. Yeah, the characters were just so well done in that. Wojira's just cool. Kalmar's cool. Great Devourer-esque Pie 4 thing with Kalmar getting eaten.
He's saying it's like a rip-off of Pie 4.
Yeah. Yeah, just really good season. It was amazingly animated as well. The animation just keeps getting better. Yeah. And the flood, I really, really hope, with Tommy Andreasen saying the government would be involved in future Ninjago stuff, I really hope it's like next season / the season after, and we get to be honest, I really just hope next season is exploring the impact of Seabound on everyone, and I like you saw in that concept I wrote, I really want it to be like that, where the government are like, yep, this is the final straw. So, because so many people would have died in that flood. We saw the ninja try and save a couple of them, but think how big Ninjago City is. They wouldn't have, like, so many people would have died.
Someone would have been affected.
Yeah, so many, like, they would have suffered thousands of casualties, probably. So I really want them to, I love it when they just explore stuff in detail like that, where they just explore, like, really subtle things like that, but it's really good. So I hope they go into detail on just the lasting effects of the Wojira stuff, like they did with Cole's death in March of the Oni.
A solid season.
Yeah.
One of my favourites.
So I think, do we put it A? Should we put it A or B? I'm thinking it's not like the best, but I think A.
Yeah, we'll put it like mid-A.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't have the seasons like ordered in the tiers or anything, but as you guys can see, that is the tier list.
The soundtracks of Nia's themes were really good.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack for Seabound was quite good as well. Yeah, just there's the tier list. There's our opinion. S tier we got Tournament, Sons of Garmadon, Hunted, and Rise of the Snakes. A tier we got Final Battle, Possession, Skybound, Seabound. Haha. B.
Every time there's like a bound in the name, Nia.
Yeah, Nia and Jay. Yeah. B, rebooted Pilot, March of the Oni, and Prime Empire.
Yeah.
C tier, Day of the Departed, Hands of Time. And D tier at the very bottom, we got Forbidden Spinjitzu, Master of the Mountain, and Island. Unfortunately, something had to come in at the bottom. It had to be the Island. After Ronin. But yeah, that's the tier list. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I don't even know if the recording's it's still going. The recording hasn't died. If the recording had died, I would end myself. That would be so painful. But yeah, I hope you guys agree. You're free to disagree. But I think we've got like the majority of community opinion we've agreed with, other than Master of the Mountain, obviously. Ooh, we're gonna get in some deep trouble for that one. But yeah, I'll end the video there, guys, because I have a feeling it's long. I think it's very long. But yeah, I'm not going to edit. I'm just going to keep it how it is, because it's a discussion video. We needed to have all the discussion of it, so...
Well, even this thought.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it as the, like, hour and a half, is it, almost? Yeah. Crikey. But yeah, I'll see you later, Tristan. Go check out Digital Cartoons. He's got a really cool animation series, which I've done some voice acting for, going there. So go check that out. Also subscribe to me, because my toaster bills are suffering right now. I can't pay them. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later.